Recorded.
You guys want to hear a joke?
Yeah.
Okay. So, guy gets on the subway. Sees his friend Morty there. He's sitting in the subway reading a Palestinian newspaper. And Morty, what are you doing? You're reading a Palestinian newspaper? Bernie, says Morty, look at what it says. It says the Jews own all the money. The Jews run Hollywood. The Jews run the countries. They run all the banks. Yeah, so the news is a lot better. That's how we Jews deal with things. So those of you who know me a little bit better know that I like to quote movie moments. So does anybody remember the movie Superman 2 with Christopher Reeve when he fought the three villains? And it's sort of the end when there's a battle and they're fighting on Metropolis and they're flying all over the place, breaking buildings. And General Zod says to his compatriots, he says, I have spotted the son of Jor-El's weakness. He cares about these people. That's his weakness. Typical villain, right? So, we're talking about media, social media earlier. Why are the Jews losing the war in social media? And here's what I came up with. This is my thinking. You tell me maybe if I'm off base. Back in the 50s, the Russians developed propaganda. They developed it. I used to listen to shortwave radio. I used to listen to the English broadcast of Radio Moscow or in other countries. And what they did back then, and what a lot of broadcasters started doing, is you start with the truth. And then you spin it, you turn it, you twist it. You draw a logical but erroneous conclusion. Right? And that's what Hamas has been doing to Israel all along. But they've been casting us as villains. Now, anybody with a reasonable brain, anybody who has an IQ of, say, I don't know, over maybe 20, would look at this and say, what are you talking about? Hamas attacked first. They committed genocide. They're not even an army. They don't wear uniforms. They don't have a chain of command. They're not a military. They did not declare war. They did not observe the Geneva Convention. And yet, on college campuses all over the place, some countries are blaming Israel for it, the victims. How did that happen? Because of the way they twist the facts. Now, why are Jews losing the war of social media? Because we don't do that. We tell the truth. That's what God wants of us. That's what he says, right? Don't put a stumbling block in front of a blind person. That is not just a literal command. It is a figurative. It is a metaphor. You look confused. Okay. It is a metaphor. It means that when you're doing a business deal, all facts have to be on the table. If you find later on that your business partner or your person you're dealing with didn't have all the facts, didn't give you all the facts and hid facts, in Judaism, the deal's no good. It's done. No good. That's the way we think. Now, is this our weakness? Is our weakness that we stick to the truth? Oh, we try to. We don't always. But is our weakness that we play fair? No. Then why are we losing the war in social media? Why isn't everybody in the world treating Hamas the way the world treated the Nazis and having like a Nuremberg trial? Why aren't they doing that? And here's the answer, I think. In Kabbalah, they say that those that favor good are led on its path. Those that favor evil are shown the way. You get what you pursue. That is why, when we read the story of the Exodus, for the first 5 plagues, Pharaoh hardened his heart. He chose the path of evil. So for the last 5 signs and wonders, God said, okay, if that's the path you want, that's the path you're going to get. And God did him a favor. He hardened his heart. And we saw how that turned out, right? So, where's this going to end up? Will the world come to its senses? When the smoke clears and people see what happens, I think they will. I think that it is a small minority of people that are yelling and screaming and blaming Israel. And I think a lot of people are going with it because it may be peer pressure, or people just don't know. Most people are just living their lives. They may not even know what's going on in Gaza. You know? I saw the other day, I was at Costco having my tires repaired. And this kid walks by, he's wearing a keffiyeh. Now, I wear my yarmulke pretty much all the time, but I had on a baseball cap. So you wouldn't have been able to tell that I had the yarmulke on that I was Jewish. And my first, thought is, to get in the guy's face and say, who do you think you are? I'm Jewish. You want to say something, which would have been the wrong thing. And it wouldn't befit me for my position here. Maybe what I should have said to him is, oh, by the keffiyeh, I see that you support Gaza. That's good. That means that you support the Gazans who are being oppressed by Hamas, who steals the aid and shoots their citizens in the back when they try to get the aid, and they're hiding behind people, and they're using all that money instead of building infrastructure to build terror tunnels. So good for you for supporting the Gazan people. I bet you'd march with them against Hamas if you had the chance, wouldn't you? Maybe that's the thing to say. Maybe that's the way to confront all this information, misinformation, all this propaganda. Now some people are starting to do that. They're starting to fight falsehoods with truth, right? Keep my lips from speaking falsehood. Is that what we just read? And my lips from speaking guile. Exactly. So we got to be the better people. This is what God wants of us. And as the Torah always tells us, God says, if you stick to the commandments, I will watch over you and you will win. And it's unfortunate that we have to use the word win, but that's probably what's going to end up happening. So, what these last 4 or so parshas have taught us, and they've all said the same thing, is justice shall you pursue. And that's what we have to do. And I feel very strongly that we do that, we will prevail.